All right, we have loaded in. We have faded the music out. And that means we are set for our game. As we've got Not Today squaring off against Slayer of Gods, or Slayers, or Artyk Gaming, whatever you want to call them, for our final game of Group D, or what could potentially be our final game of Group D. There is the possibility of a tiebreaker scenario in the event that Slayers wins this match. But Not Today has been playing some really great Dota, and they're sitting 2-0 right now. Whereas Slayer of Gods, they're sitting at 1-1. Of course, they lost their match against Shazam, which Not Today, they had probably their closest match against Shazam, but still, they pretty much took that one in pretty commanding fashion. They looked in control for most of the match, and yeah, they just took that game, and they've just been getting better and better every game that we've seen from them so far, and I don't really expect that to change this game. But who knows? Maybe Slayer of Gods is going to be able to put on a show here. They're definitely picking something a little bit less usual, and we'll get into that in just a second. But once again, guys, I am Niz. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are casting the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and like I mentioned before, we're in Group D, as we're going to have Not Today going off against Slayer of Gods for our final match of the night before we potentially crown the two teams that will be moving into the playoffs, and unfortunately the two teams that will be heading home. But we're going to be picking up and starting Group C tomorrow night. I believe that's starting at 6:30. The games are starting Eastern time. I'll take a quick look at that to confirm it for you. But yes, it is 6:30 is the start time tomorrow. So that's just 1 hour earlier than we started tonight. We started at 7:30. It's currently 10:30. So just an hour earlier, starting at 6:30 tomorrow. And that should be fun and interesting. Those are going to feature 3 games of complexity. So that should be fun. But let's catch up with our draft here. Still nothing surprising for 686. Please, someone kind of take a step out there. As we've got Undying and Darkseer getting banned out by Not Today. Queen of Pain and Slaughter are banned out by Slayer of Gods. The first pick was Tusk. That was followed up with a Shadow Fiend from Not Today. And Slayer of Gods, they chose to go with the Gyrocopter, Wisp, or Io, whatever you want to refer to him as their first 2 picks. Moving on to our second set of bans, Not Today banning out the Tiny, and Slayer of Gods banning out the Juggernaut, which we saw Benjaz play quite well last game, but not going to be available to them this time around. Ember Spirit getting banned out by Not Today, even though they were able to control and shut down that Ember Spirit so well last game. They had some great rotations coming in from Goody on the roster. And then, DDX came in. He was roaming away from the bottom lane rather early for an offlaner, but he was an Earthshaker. He made those right rotations in and just helped Leo Style get a great start. It definitely shut down the Ember on the opposing team. And then just from there, Leo Style was just able to snowball out of control as he just kind of took off in that game. But our final band of the second round will come through, and that's the Ancient Apparition. So that frees them up to pick Dazzle, and they're going to have their support duo of Wisp Dazzle. And it's great counter to Shadow Fiend, the minus armor provided from his aura. You can get Weave to amplify your armor to kind of counteract that, but you can also use it offensively to stop the Gyrocopter, or to help the Gyrocopter do more damage. But now an Alchemist is going to get picked up by Not Today. This is interesting. We already see a Shadow Fiend getting picked up, so this looks like it's going to be a safe lane Alchemist. Doesn't necessarily confirm that it's a farm, or it could be a support. As for the heroes that have gotten changed in this patch, Dazzle got nerfed quite a bit, but I still think he's still a hero. He's Shallow Grave is always going to be Shallow Grave unless they actually change how it works. Shallow Grave is still going to be Shallow Grave, and I believe they increased the mana cost of it, and I forget what else they did to Dazzle. I'll check out on that in a second. I don't believe they did anything to Wisp. Gyrocopter, we already mentioned, the initial damage of Call Down was reduced slightly. Tusk made some changes to the amount of damage that Ice Shards does. Also, Snowball not being able to pick up heroes out of Black Hole and Chronosphere and stuff like that. Stuff that it shouldn't have been able to do in the start. And I believe Tusk also lost 5 movement speed, which will also effectively affect the speed that he snowballs, because that's based on your movement speed. Shadow Fiend lost 1 starting armor, 1 armor. He also got an Aghanims added to him, but I don't think we're going to see that this game. If we do, I'll definitely talk a little bit more about that. And I feel like there was another change to Shadow Fiend, but that one... Oh, there was an increased mana cost on raises. They went from 75 mana to 90. And on top of that, we had a nerf to stacking. So you can still stack the jungle, but some of the creeps have a stacking aura that they apply to all the other creeps in the stack, and that increases their magic resist, which really hurts a hero like Shadow Fiend that's trying to clear those stacks. Alchemist, they changed the way Greevil's Greed works. It still works the same, but when you pick up a rune with it at the start, you don't get the 5 times bounty that you were getting before. It starts at, I believe, 3 times, and it progressively works up based on the level of Greevil's Greed from 3, 4, 5, and then at max rank it's actually 6 times, so it's actually higher later on. But the initial thing is a little bit lower, or significantly lower. Batrider was the final pickup in the second round for Slayer of Gods, and Not Today chose to go with the Vengeful Spirit. Both those heroes got slight buffs. Batrider got a buff to his HP regen, and they reduced the mana cost of Flame Break, and I believe those were the only changes for him. Vengeful Spirit got her Aghanim Scepter improved, so it spawns an illusion of her that when she dies, that can keep using all her abilities and stuff. It takes amplified damage, and it does less actual damage, but it can basically do all the stuff that Vengeful Spirit does, but it's an illusion after she dies, and it'll stay alive until she respawns. Unless killed, I guess.
Radiant team pick.
Now our final 2 bans is going to be an Axe removed from play from Slayer of Gods, and Ursa getting banned out by Not Today. So what do we got for lanes right now? We've got Batrider traditionally played in the off lane. Gyrocopter traditionally played safe lane. Dazzle going to be probably safe lane with the Gyro. Wisp paired up with another hero in the mid lane. Quite common to see that. But Tiny is one of those heroes. Ursa is one of those heroes. Both of them banned out. The question is who are they going to pair that with? Slaughter banned out as well. That could be a potential. Juggernaut was one. That's banned as well.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, you can do Wisp ganks with the Gyrocopter. That'll work. It doesn't have to be a hero that does that. Ooh, Lifestealer. That's one that works as well. So they'll probably have Lifestealer in the mid lane with the Wisp going up against... Uh-oh. I don't know if they anticipated this. The last pick, Viper, is a great counter to the Lifestealer. Great counter. So this is a support Alchemist then, I guess? Because now I'm looking at who's picking up these heroes. And this looks like it's going to be a support Alch. Great draft coming in from Not Today. I like this. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be an off-lane Tusk because DDX is playing that. Leo Styles on the Shadow Fiend, so that's probably going to be mid. Ben Jazz is on the Viper, so that's a safe lane farmer. And Jerry, we saw him play Disruptor last game. He's taking the Alchemist. And I feel bad for not saying Goody, but Goody's also playing the Venge. But we'll actually introduce them fully right now, as we'll start with the Not Today. Why not? As apparently my chat is bugging out here, my Twitch chat, so hopefully it'll come back. But we've got Not Today on the Dire side, and look at this drawing on the map. We got to smoke because they're going to rush out of base. But let's introduce our Dire side quickly, as we got Leo Style playing the Shadow Fiend. DDX is going to be playing the Tusk. Jerry's going to be playing the Support Alchemist, although supporting items maybe not. As Leo Style might get ganked here to start the game off. Will they be able to catch him? Oh, they're getting close. They're getting close. What does Van have skilled? He had open wounds, but he wasn't in range there? Oh, I guess because it's level 1 open wounds, the thing is like no range whatsoever. But yeah, Leo style will survive. He will get away there, but Jerry
30
starting
seconds
with
to battle.
Fairy Fire there, so that's a new item. We'll get to that in just a second. Goody's going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. Benjaz is going to be playing that Viper up in the top lane. As for our Radiant side, we've got Slayers that are trying to get a win here to stay in contention in the brackets. As Van's going to be playing their lifesteal. A huge battle here for the bottom rune. As looks like Slayers have dominating position on the actual rune spawn. They're going to lead with a first blood as they drop the Vengeful Spirit. As Van was actually standing in the wrong position there to get the bounty rune. It's moved slightly. As now Jerry is going to find himself in a corner as he's going to go down. But let's finish introducing everyone on the Radiant side. We've got Van playing the Lifestealer. Vulcan's going to be on the Dazzle. We've got Z-Talk on the Wisp. Schofield is going to be on the Gyrocopter, and 504 is going to be playing the Batrider in the offlane. A little bit of a shaky start there for Not Today, but they'll look to rebound from that. As they've got going with pretty much the lanes that we expected, with the Tusk in the offlane, and the Shadow Fiend mid, and of course a hero accompanying him to start him off early on in the laning phase. May actually stick around here a lot longer, depending on whether the Wisp stays. As what? That got a solo kill on the Viper? That's not something you expect to happen. Not at level 2, but 504 managing to get that kill done. But yeah, the top lane is going to be the Viper with the support Alchemist up there. Where it's different is the lanes for Slayers. Because we've got the offlane Batrider, which we expected. But they put the Gyrocopter mid with the Wisp, not the Nyx, not the Lifestealer, as he's in the bottom lane with the Dazzle. Speaking of that, we've got a little bit of damage getting exchanged down here, and now we're going to have an open wounds onto DDX. He's going to drop into a snowball, and he can sit in there until the slow, for the majority of it, wears off. But now it will completely wear off, but he's still not able to get far enough away as Vulcan manages to finish him off with the right click there. And look at this. Goody actually rotating away to stack this camp. Will he get the camp stacked? No. We saw DDX miss it last game as well. And it's apparently not the easiest camp to stack. The timing's a little bit different than these players are anticipating. Oh, DDX will snowball onto Vulcan here. Bring a lot of pressure onto the Dazzle. Dazzle does not have Shallow Grave. He does have a heal bomb available to him, and he's going to use that at the last second necessary, baiting DDX in, and then Van comes in and says, you know what, open wounds, I will collect the kill, thank you very much. Part of why I was waiting with that heal was for Van to get close enough so that it actually dealt more damage to the Tusk. Notice the skill build coming out from Schofield. He's getting that 1 point into Rocket, into the homing missile. He is still maxing Rocket Barrage, but still no points into Flat Cannon because he's only level 3, but he might get a little bit of XP here as they're going to get a kill onto Leo style as a question mark gets dropped. As the BM is starting already. Now the homing missile going to go on to Goody. Is I'm guessing he had left to go stack, but still we don't have that camp stacked. The Schofield is. I don't know about this. I think Z-Talk's definitely dead. The question is, will he be able to get one? With Vulcan here, they might be able to get Leo style with the homing missile on. Yeah, they definitely will. But Schofield's got to be able to get out of there. Now DDX TP's on in. And oh my goodness, the ice charge was just barely off. Now DDX will try to salvage this as he's going to trap in Vulcan. Or no, he's actually not body blocking him there. And now he's going to try to run away, but Wisp has the balls going, and he's smacking him in the face with the balls. And he's going to go down now. Vulcan It's kind of low in HP, but heals himself back up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
As Not Today is up against the ropes right now. 9-1 for Slayer.
Radiant's
This is a
top tower
great
is
start to
under
the game
attack.
for them.
Dire's middle tower is
But
under
they have
attack.
spotted Vulcan making this rotation up into the Dire jungle. He will place that observer ward. Will he run into Goody? Oh, it's going to be close. Has Goody even
Radiant's
spotted
top
him?
tower
No,
is
I don't
under
think he
attack.
has. He's looking. He's looking.
Dire's
Vulcan
bottom tower
just
is
slightly
under
a little bit
attack.
faster. That move speed just a little bit higher, and now the Bat Rider sitting there. 504. He just got a kill onto the
Dire's bottom
Viper
tower
of
is
Benjaz
under
once
attack.
again, and now Jerry's going to go down. He will get a stun off, but it's a double kill for 504, and Goody makes his way up here and not able to get the kill. And meanwhile, there's a kill in the mid lane as Schofield dive past the tower and gets a kill on the Shadow Fiend as Leo Style goes down. Meanwhile, there's a dive in the bottom as Van diving the tier 1 tower, forcing DDX to drop into a snowball.
Dire's
Van
bottom
right-clicking
tower is
him.
under
Ice
attack.
Shards will actually trap DDX, but Jerry, the TP, and the unstable concoction arrives just in time to save DDX. As Not Today gets their second kill of the game. But Slayer of Gods, they've definitely had better starts to games. They've had better starts. This is not ideal. They do still have the top farmer in terms of last hits, and that's the Viper. He's sitting at 36 and 6. Compare that to the Lifestealer, who's at 29 and 14. It's a little bit more gold for the Viper, but the Viper's died a few times, and Van has only died once, but he's been a part of 4 kills. It might even be 5 kills as, nope, Jerry's there once again with the body blocks. Great play from him. Now Van has used Rage. Jerry's channeling his stun, but he won't be able to see Van as he's in the trees. And Van now trying to come out of the trees, and he's constantly getting stuck by those creeps. Now we're going to have a TP coming in from Goody as Van, he's dove a little bit too deep. Vulcan's going to be there to try to heal him up and try to keep Van alive for as long as he can. But there's no way that Not Today is going to let this hero come out of here. As he's trapped in these trees, and he's going to drop into a creep, but they can deny that one. He's going to pop out of it with Infest. Goody's going to take a good amount of damage. But Van, oh my god, no way. There's no way he's going to live here. He gets the kill onto Goody, and eventually he will go down the tower, helping him out with that. Jerry going to tick out. DDX going to roll forward, and everyone in the bottom lane dies with the exception of DDX, who lives with 26 HP. Schofield and Z-Talk, meanwhile, with all that action, they say, you know what, we're just going to go steal your stacks in your jungle so your SF can't recover. As this has been a disaster game for Leo Style. As did they pick him off? Yeah, they must have picked him off because he
Radiant's
died
top tower
when
is under
he was
attack.
up there doing those stacks. As oh my, it's a blink dagger for the Bat Rider. 7 minutes in. We've got Phase and Drums up on the
Dire's bottom
gyrocopter.
tower
Wisp
is
about to
under
hit
attack.
6. There we go. Relocate available. As the ping's coming out, they're going to relocate into the top lane onto Benjaz in just a
Dire's
second here.
middle tower
There is an
is
observer
under
ward
attack.
here. So they do have vision of that. Now, they're not going
Radiant's top
to
tower
relocate.
is
They're going to
under
go and
attack.
dive mid, but now TP support comes in
Dire's
from
bottom
Benjaz of
tower
all
is
heroes.
under attack.
Now they're just going to call down. They might just turn around for this. As Schofield's got the... it's going to be so close. It's a battle. Oh,
Dire's bottom tower is
Schofield's
under
going to go down. Benjaz will
Radiant's
go
top
down.
tower
Z-Talk
is
just
under
barely
attack.
allowing that kill to happen. But then he goes down. Now Van comes up here. 504 is here. And he's going to combine with that Lifesteal and the Dazzle to get a kill onto DDX on that Tusk. 18-6 now. I want to remind you guys that we're only 8 minutes into this game. And we've seen 24 kills. What is this? I don't understand my life right now. And this mid Shadow Fiend is level 5 right now. Game is hard. Game is real hard. In fact, let's take a look at the levels in the game. Oh my goodness. There was a relocate I just missed. And now game is paused. Sec lag. This 504 is disconnected, so he'll reconnect into the game in just a second. Oh my goodness, we've got a level 5 Shadow Fiend. He's about to hit 6 though. He's getting close. Then we got 2 level 4s. Those are both the supports for Not Today, but the supports on the side of Slayer, they're at 6. They're already 6, so they've got access to their ultimates. Although Dazzle Ultimate, I mean, it's not the biggest power swing. Certainly Weave is not a bad ability, but it's not like huge like getting a relocate or even Avenge Swap. Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. A real rough one for Not Today, as we may be heading towards a tiebreaker. G gets called. I'm actually going to switch over to net worth already. I know it's a little bit early to do so, but there's been so much action, so many kills that last hit's just really not very telling on the state of the game for each hero.
Dire's structures are
Schofield forcing them to use that glyph and
Dire's
TP
bottom
support in
tower
so he
is
doesn't
under
claim the
attack.
tower by himself. They will snowball forward, and now the gyrocopter's actually in trouble. Call down. And he will be able to run away there. I didn't think that he was going to be able to escape there. Meanwhile, in the top lane,
Dire's
Ztalk
bottom
and
tower
504
has fallen.
have gotten a kill onto Leo style. Once
Dire's
again,
top tower
the
is
Shadow
under
Fiend
attack.
is just not his game. He had an incredible game last game, and now he's sitting at 1-5-0.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, we're going to have heroes running into each other. Here's DDX
Radiant's
and Ztalk are
middle
going to
tower
spot
is
each other.
under attack.
Ice Shard's going to trap the
Dire's
Wisp, but he'll
top
just
tower is under attack.
latch on to his Bat Rider and hop on up the cliff to him. Quickly bring up our items, give you a good idea of who's got what. We've got an urn up on Wisp. We've got Arcane Boots up on Dazzle. Drums for the Gyrocopter. Nothing really yet from Van on the Life
Dire's
Stealer.
middle tower is
So
under
no
attack.
new item pickups for him.
Dire's
504's got
structures
his
are
Blink Dagger.
fortified.
As it looks like we might have the making of a pick off here.
Dire's
Is
middle
504.
tower has
He
fallen.
saw the Tusk, but then he saw the Viper, so he's going to go for it. But DDX was on his game. He was able to jump on in there and punch 504 up in the air to try and save Benjaz, but in the end, they both end up going down. I thought maybe that would buy enough time for some of the other heroes from Not Today to get in there, but they were there. They
Dire's
just end
middle
up dying
tower is
too.
under attack.
And now Leo Style was TPing on out, and yeah, he goes down. He says, "Good game, well played." Disconnects from the game. The GGs get called.
Radiant
that was
victory.
a 10-minute game. Wow. I mean, we were behind schedule, so wow. What a game. What a game. That one was maybe the hype was too much for Not Today and how they were playing. They were playing some good Dota. And then Slayers, I mean, they didn't play bad. They had a good game against Boreal. They didn't play very well at all against Shazam. But then they completely walk all over Not Today. I don't know what to make of this. Now we're going to have a three-way tie between Not Today, Slayer of Gods, and Shazam to determine which of those two is actually going to advance to the playoffs. You already know Boreal's knocked out. But those three teams are then going to have a playoff where they're all going to play each other. So we're going to have 3 more games. I don't know when those are going to be scheduled, but wow. What a game. 10 minutes. Almost 11 minutes, and it's already over. They tap out, and this was a lot of kills this game. Look at the deaths on the side of Not Today. It's 25 deaths. Wow. Unbelievable. And I liked some of their draft. I thought it was interesting, but obviously they just got completely demolished in the mid lane. They lost everywhere. They lost 1v1 in the top lane. The Bat versus the Viper. The Viper lost at level 2. So that was a little bit surprising, but it's just a complete disaster. DDX definitely played the best out of everyone on the side of Slayer of Gods. Wow. Well, that's going to wrap it up for that game. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. It's not quite going to wrap it up for Group D because, like I said, we're going to have some tiebreaker matches. We don't know when those will be, but I'll let you know when I find out. We do have a cast again tomorrow. But it won't be those tiebreaker matches because we've got Group C to start. We've already finished Group A. We've already finished Group B. We just kind of finished Group D. So now we got Group C. So that's going to be 3 games tomorrow starting at 6:30 Eastern. All 3 games are going to feature complexity. They're going to be playing up against Void Boys first, Archon second, and then POF. POF. I'm not sure who POF is. I think I'm drawing a blank on that one and just not cluing into the abbreviation. But either way, we'll definitely find out tomorrow. Those should be some fun games, some really good teams. That's probably the group of death. I think that has, between Complexity, Archon, and Void Boys, that could very well be the group of death. And I don't know POF. Maybe they're even a strong contender in that too. Like I said, I'm probably just cluing out to who that is right now. But we'll find out tomorrow starting at 6:30. And hopefully you guys will stop by and check it out. If the best way to do so is actually just hit me up with a follow on twitch.tv. I'm going to be casting every game for the Dota 2 Canada Cup. There also is the official channel for the Dota 2 Canada Cup. Moonduck is covering that stuff, so you can check that out as well. Beyond that, I cast every Sunday for the Semi-Pro Cup Series, so you can